Hey eBayers, it's Suzanne. Thanks for coming back for another video, and we have another supersize sales video today with things that sold for over $100. This is coming from the thread in my Facebook group for April, and you can look these up by just going to the search bar over here and putting in $100 or supersize sales, and you will find these threads. Real quick before we get started, I just want to remind you about my newest project, my premium educational content library. This is a subscription that's $20 a month, and you get access to all kinds of great things. I'm going to put in a minimum of 12 videos a month. There's a huge library of stuff there already, and that will grow over time, so you have access to all of that with your subscription. I'm going to be putting in mini courses, so instead of creating classes on their own to sell, everything's going to go in here. You get printables and materials, charts, worksheets, forms, reminders, ways to organize things that's going to be really helpful. And videos made on request. So if you need help with something, you don't understand something, or you want me to explain it my way because you don't understand how it's explained out there already, I will make a video about it. You also get unlimited email support as long as you're a member. So rather than calling eBay and getting a customer service rep who's reading a script, ask me first. Maybe I can help you. I've got a whole team of people that will be fielding these emails, so we are here to help you. And best of all, there's no ads, so you don't have to worry about manipulating the keywords like on YouTube or doing this around advertising. It's all just great material for you to learn. So I've got the links below for that, and let's get going with the supersize sales. What I'm going to do here is put my timer so I know how much time we're using. And there's something like 188 comments in this thread, so this is going to be probably broken up into a couple of different videos. So here we go. George Kelly, he's always finding cool stuff. Bought this 14 karat gold ring with jade frog at family run estate sale for $5. Sold in one day for $145. So let's see, he did put a link to it, which is great. And let's take a look at the listing. Here it is, 14 karat gold yellow ladies ring with carved jade frog. I know that frog collectors are just nuts about their collections. I had an aunt who collected frog stuff, and her house was just covered with it. So that may be part of the reason this sold for so high. Of course, it's also jewelry. It's yellow gold with jade. So really cool item. I hope to get into learning more about jewelry and sharing that with you. That's a niche that I find very overwhelming, but we can learn. So way to go, George. Okay, Kim Smith picked this up at Goodwill for $9.65, sold for $150, purchased at the end of February or early March. So let's take a look. It looks like a St. John collection, maroon Santana knit jacket blazer. So yes, let's take a look at her pictures here so we can see what this was. There are those exquisite St. John buttons that you can tell the item is high-end or expensive just by the buttons before you even pick it up and start looking at it. And there is the St. John collection label on the inside. Very nice condition, conservative. And she paid $9, almost $10 for it. It sold for $150. So that's a good deal. Then we've got Brian, who's always posting his great finds, and he's got he paid $5.41 for this as part of a lot of 35 to 40 cars. Sold this one little car, die-cast car, for $143. So his cost was probably, I don't know, 10 or 20 cents, something like that. So you've got to look through the smalls and the littles to see what these things are, because they could be highly collectible. So here it is, number 29. Is that Okay, that's Kevin Harvick, NASCAR. Why was I thinking Tony Stewart? I guess because the Home Depot colors there. But there it is. So these NASCAR things are really collectible. Let me make a note right here to do a video about that. So somebody just had this. It was in a box of stuff. Ended up, I would say, an auction. Didn't say if it was an auction. It was just a lot. And he was smart enough to look through the whole thing and figure that out. So he turned probably 20 cents into $143. And then Heather says down here, wow, my son has over 500 NASCAR die-cast cars. I'm going to look for this one. Yeah, I would too. I'd be taking that away from my kid for sure. Okay, Brian also paid $10 for this item and it sold for $99.99, so we're going to give him credit for $100 on that one. And let's see what this is. Panasonic video camera hard drive camcorder. So it's got all the parts and pieces. He says pre-owned video camera in very good condition with light wear. So it's got the adapters and it looks like the instruction DVD and all the cables, everything you need right there. And he paid $10 for it and sold it for $100. And then we've got Brian with a Vitamix. Okay, those are great to sell even if you just have the parts. So he picked this up for $10 and sold for $249.99 plus shipping. And let's take a look at that. Okay, Vitamix 5200 heavy duty blender, black 64-ounce container, pre-owned blender in good condition, tested and working. $250, and he paid $10. So you guys that won't pay more than $3 for something, you've got to look at the big picture. You've got to look at your total potential profit. Worst case scenario, if he had bought this for $10 and he could sell it for at least that. I mean, because Vitamix are very expensive. So let's look at the replies down here. Who gets rid of a Vitamix? I use mine every day. Yeah, I hear you. And Brian says he picked up 2 Vitamix blenders within 7 to 10 days. Crazy what you can find if you know what to look for. Yes, that is the key. You've got to know what to look for, which is why you come to watch these videos, because we're showing you what actually sold. Shelly's like asking where do you find them. Brian says at garage sales. And Tara says, I've been looking for one for 2 years for personal use. I thought I found one at Goodwill, about died. It was a Hamilton Beach in a Vitamix box. Oh, boo. And then Andrea says, I need to move where Brian lives. Well, I'm sure Brian's not going to tell us where he lives. He's going to keep that a secret, but he's always posting great things. Okay, Linda Allison bought this set for $8 at Goodwill, sold for $134.99, shipped global shipping. And this is another kitchen item here. It's an espresso stovetop maker machine. Let's see. Wow, that is in fantastic condition. It says Italian Espress, E-S-P-R-E-S-S. That's how it's spelled. And it's also, looks like it does cappuccino and espresso. There's all the stuff, the box, the instructions, everything there. And $135, and she sold it on global shipping. So she was at least open to international. And by the way, speaking of international, I have some great interviews coming up for you guys, talking to Americans living overseas, or hopefully I've got somebody in Canada who's going to agree to do a video. It's a plea from them to ship international and what it's like on their side, because what you guys are missing is that when you ship international, you're not necessarily shipping to somebody in a foreign country that can't speak English. It could be an American. There's lots of Americans living overseas, whether it's for business, they're in the military, they just wanted to move there, and then retiring. That's that's a trend now, is to retire in a different country because it's a cheaper cost of living, or they move where the climate is great, because as you get older you have more issues with your health, and a mild or even tropical climate is it's just easier. You feel better. Arthritis and things like that feel better. So, you know, I'm going to convince you. I'm on a mission to convince you by listening to these people who are talking about living in other countries, and they feel almost discriminated against because U.S. sellers won't ship to them. And so we're going to get into all that in another video. So stay tuned on that. I actually recorded one yesterday on Skype with a very lovely lady in Israel, Naomi, who is an American living over there. And darn it, the audio was all messed up. So we're going to do it again, this time just for the audio, because it was such a wonderful conversation, and she gave a lot of great information to help you guys sell international. So anyway, I digress. Sorry about that. Okay, so then we've got Brian again. That's fine, Brian. You post as many as you want. Paid $11.98 and it sold for $335. Oops, Brian, sorry. I clicked on your profile there instead of the listing. I know all you ladies are like, is Brian married? Well, I don't know. Brian's going to have to tell us if he's taken, because I can see a lot going on with that. We should have an eBay for eBay singles or eBay dating or something like that, because I think that would be great, because Brian sure knows what he's doing. So this is a Paramount Clear Ozone water purifying system. And obviously, you know, I don't know if Brian is just an expert electronics, because he sure sells a lot of them, or does he just look for things that are in the box than new in the package? So if this was $11.98 and it sold for $335, I would probably have taken the chance for that price. But he probably looked it up when he was wherever he got this. Okay, thanks, Brian. Kendra paid $2 for this black halo dress at Bargain Hunt. Listed it for $199 and then raised it to $204.99 because of so many watchers. Great strategy. If you guys haven't heard of that, if you have a bunch of watchers on something, you don't want to lower the price, because they're going to sit there and keep watching and wait until you lower it some more. So when you raise the price, if you've got a lot of interest, that can often trigger these watchers into taking action. I'm making notes here. I need to do another video about watchers and give you some more information on that. But think about it like when gas prices go up. Everybody runs to the gas station to get gas before it goes up anymore, because we don't know if it's going to go up or come down. So a lot of times when prices go up, that spurs people into action to make that purchase. So I feel like you guys think the only thing you can do is lower the price to get people to buy, but that often has the reverse effect, because they'll think, oh, the seller's lowering the price. Maybe she'll lower it some more tomorrow. And they just keep waiting. So, and on another note real quick, and I'll do a video on this, there is a question out there about, do watchers get notified when you change the price on your item? And it depends on how the buyer has their notifications set up. So I'm going to show you about that. But as a seller, there's nothing you can do to force them to get the notification, and it's not random. It is something that the buyer has to set up on their eBay. So the answer to that question is maybe. It depends on how the buyer has it set up, if they get notified when you change the price on a watched item, or if it is relisted again. Okay, Kendra, sorry to put in that commentary here. We're going to look at your dress now. So what is this? It is called Black Halo size 0 Jackie O dress, and that's Jackie Onassis, for y'all who don't know who that is, as in John F. Kennedy's wife. Um, Beautiful classic styled conservative dress, 3/4 sleeve. There's the tag right there, and there it is being modeled. And so she sold it for $204.99, and she got it for $2. So, yes, these things are out there. The more you know, the more you're going to make. So, you've got to learn. You've got to just keep learning. Just be like a human sponge for information, and just go on eBay and look at completed listings. Watch these videos. Try to focus on information showing you what has sold. Haul videos are great, but they don't give you the follow-up. They just show, people taking stuff out of a bag, what they bought, which is fine. They're interesting, but it doesn't give you that follow-up to make you smarter. So you really want to see the proof of when something's sold so that you'll know to put that in your brain and remember that item because it sells for a lot. Okay, Dawn paid $10 at an estate sale. This sold for $164.99 just a few days later. Buyer sent me their own shipping label. Okay, that happens sometimes because the buyer may have, maybe they work for a company and they have a FedEx account or something where they can get the shipping paid for on their end, so they'll send you a label. So when these kind of things come up, don't be immediately suspicious that the buyer's trying to do something to you, trying to scam you or whatever. I've worked in different offices over my life, and a lot of them had a FedEx account where they got insane discounts on shipping. So since this was a large item, that was probably the case. The buyer probably had access to some kind of discounted shipping arrangement and just wanted to use that instead of paying out of her pocket, because this was a typewriter that was pretty heavy and big. So yes, typewriters are not dead. Some people still like them. So Dawn paid $10 for that and sold it for $164.99. And there you go. Okay, let's see how we're doing on time here. 17 minutes. Okay. Jody found this new Sony CD Walkman at Salvation Army for $4.32, listed as a 7-day auction on eBay, and it sold for $163.14. So let's take a closer look at that. All kinds of interesting things here. Yeah, and definitely the new in the package, new in the box things are worth stopping and looking up. So here it is, 2007. So wow, that's 11 years old and it was never opened. That's weird. Stuff that just sits around unopened. It's got a little bit of a defect there that she pointed out, which is fine. And she says new and original packaging, but the packaging has a couple of dings to it, and she's got that in the pictures. So again, that was a Sony Walkman, new in the package, 2007. She bought it for $4.32 and sold it for $163.14. Fantastic. Okay, this is Michael Campbell. I think we had this on a Money Making Monday video, but it's worthy of mentioning again. Found this at a yard sale for $3 and sold for full asking price of $250 within a few days, and it sold internationally. The woman bought the game and a few others, and the woman he bought the game from assured him, I think he means, that all the pieces were there and he wanted to go kiss her. I know when you find these things, it's like you really want to thank the person or the place you got it from, but you can't blow your cover and do that. So you just have to be silently grateful. Just, put it out there in the universe silently. Thank you so much, universe, for sending me these great things. So here's the game, Hero Quest game system, 100% complete, rare. Fantastic. And that was a $3 item that sold for $250. Okay, Bethany paid $7 at a garage sale, sold for $188 plus shipping in 3 weeks. And what does she have? Something with the Three Little Pigs. Three Little Pigs snow globe. Yay! Rare 70th anniversary new wolf snow Disney blow. I'm not oh, like the, okay, yeah, the wolf's blowing it down. Um, so I have a video on snow globes, so you can go check that out and read more about those. Um, this is a very cute item. I'm guessing this is a collectible. Most of these kind of things are considered collectibles. So of course it's Disney, it's in the package, it's got the paperwork with it. And what's this? Yeah, it was new. And what'd she say she got it for? $7, and it sold for 188. So this, yeah, this is like, I found two Disney snow globes at a garage sale one time. One was 10 and one was 20. The $10 one sold for I think 100, and the $20 one sold for over 200. So sometimes people just don't know what they have, and they're so intimidated by eBay that they're not going to figure it out. Realize you have a special skill if you do this. You know more than most people. While it is more common for people to say, oh, I sell on eBay too, or I know someone who sells on eBay, or I've heard of that, what much more common than it was, say, 5 years ago. Most people out there are not going to learn how to do this. How do I know? Because I get so many emails every week from people who have stuff to sell, and they're looking for a consignment seller, and there's not one in their area, and I'm like, oh, well, here's a class I have, a beginner class, and you can go to my YouTube and watch the beginner videos and learn how to do it. And they're like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to learn. It's going to be too hard, or I don't have time for that. Sometimes they say it in a way that's like, I'm above doing that. I'm above learning how to sell. But the, the main concept is they feel very overwhelmed by it because eBay has so many moving parts, and that they just don't want to take the time to learn it. So a lot of times this stuff ends up in garage sales because that's their only option. They aren't going to learn to sell on eBay or online at all, and they don't want to just donate it, but they gotta get rid of it. They're moving, they're downsizing, whatever. And that's where we come in as the happy little eBay pickers that will gladly take it off their hands. So thank you, Bethany, for posting that. $7 sold for $188 in 3 weeks. And then we've got another one from Bethany here. Vintage 1986 Fireball Island. I've heard of this. Milton Bradley board game. And it's missing one piece. And so she bought this for $2.50, and it sold for $225 in 2 to 3 hours of listing. So get those things listed, you guys. I would bet whoever bought it had an alert set up, and they got a notification that it was there and they bought it, because this is a pretty rare item. So here's the board game. It's called Fireball Island. Put that in your brain. Fireball Island. And then Michael's game was Hero Quest, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I need more coffee to remember, to improve my short-term memory. So yeah, board games, that's where the money is. And I almost feel like buying them at garage sales or estate sales is going to be less of a risk, because thrift stores, first of all, they bundle stuff together, so you don't even know what's in there if it has all the pieces. When you're at a garage sale, a lot of times there's time and space to open it up and look through it, and does it have all the pieces? And it hasn't been manhandled as much as it would be in a thrift store through their processing. Like, somebody donates it and it's dropped off and manhandled in the back and thrown around and then put on the shelf, and a bunch of people are looking at it and putting it back, and kids are getting into it, taking the pieces out, stuff like that. So you may have a better inventory selections at garage sales and estate sales, because the item's probably just been sitting in someone's house for years and years. They carried it out to the garage to have the sale, and that's it. So it's going to probably be in better condition in some cases. Okay, Next, we've got Regina, paid $1.99, sold for $350, shipped priority in a box and added ship saver insurance. After all fees, she made about $275. These blankets are always a bolo, which means be on the lookout. Hey Regina, if you're watching, next time it would be awesome if you could put the link to the item so everybody could go look at it and look at all the details about it. So, but this is cool. This is Baby Morgan. So I'm going to write that down too. So much to learn. And you're never going to learn it all because more stuff just pops up all the time. So even the thermal blanket goes for $30 to $40. She paid $1.99 for this little blanket, and I have seen this. Wish we had some better pictures, but it's a white blanket with, it looks like little balloons, or maybe it's just polka dots that are pink, blue, yellow, green, and then the satin trimmed edge of the blanket. I wonder why these are so expensive. Okay, here's a discussion about that. Laurie says, wow, is it a certain brand that sells well? Are they from the 80s? I had no clue. Regina says, yes, this is a Baby Morgan blanket, not in business anymore. A lot of babies had them in the late 80s and early 90s. Laurie says, Linda says, I do not understand, but I love it. I know I've seen these. I wish I had known, so I learned something here today too. Okay, let's do a couple of more and then I'm going to wrap this one up, but there will be a part 2 coming. Rebecca paid $9.99 at a Goodwill retail store, sold for best offer of $137.75 in about 6 weeks. So what is it? A Harley Davidson men's wool varsity jacket coat size 3X. So Harley Davidson's your first clue there. And it just looks, this reminds me almost of a Letterman jacket, because the sleeves, and that's just kind of what it looks like. But it's a nice, looks like boiled wool jacket with lots of details on it. Yeah, it's wool. So boiled wool is like, it's exactly what it says. It's boiled. It's thicker. It's the fibers actually shrink down, and they're very compact. If you've ever heard of a boiled wool jacket, Talbot's makes them. They're very classic styled. It's like an Emily Gilmore type thing where it's very classic. It's just a way they used to make jackets. So that's what this is. So she turned $9.99 into $137.75. And then another one for Rebecca, purchased for $2.99 each at local thrift, listed probably 9 months, so she's in it for the long haul and waiting for her price, for $199.95 on best offer, took a best offer of $129, and it was sold to an interior design firm in California. So let's look at what this is. You guys who know art, I just am so jealous because I just don't know this stuff, and I don't know that I would have picked this up. So here's the paintings here. I think they're paintings. Pair of framed watercolor paintings of Seville, signed V. Granis original. So it's almost has an impressionist style. I'm not sure if that's the correct word. It's kind of blurry. But it's got this little signature right here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's on there. And it looks like just, in Italy or somewhere in the inner city, old-timey Victorian or maybe before that. It looks very old if you look at the back and the sticker. So I probably butchered all of the art information on that because I don't know that much about art. So, pair of original framed watercolor paintings of Seville. Oh, is that France? I don't know where that is. I'm sure I'll get lots of corrections. Colors remain bold. Painting includes street neighborhood scenes and human figures. Paintings appear to be in excellent condition. This is a great description. She knows exactly what she's talking about here. So I would like to know, Rebecca, if you are experienced, or just if you know art, because I'd love to do an interview with you and put it on YouTube, helping people understand what to look for and what collectors want. Of obviously, there's so many styles of art that's not something we could cover in one interview, but this is something that more and more people are trying to learn about. And then Doris says, as an artist myself, it always delights me when I see discarded artwork appreciated like this. So often you see them at garage sales or thrift sales for $2 to $3. I often think of the artist and wonder how much time and heart went into the work. And that's exactly right. So there are so many people out there who would appreciate this type of thing if it was on eBay and they could buy it. So we all need to become better pickers. We're out there anyway, so why not learn more and provide more things for these collectors to buy, and just people who appreciate art and beautiful things. So on that note, I'm going to wrap this up for today, and put your comments below. Would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.